What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So this is my 2001 Ram 3500 behind me, and what I'm doing today, I went ahead and picked up some Centric wheel balancers. So that's these guys right here, and you can hear on the inside pretty much just sounds like balancing beads but inside a ring. So I guess the main complaint with balancing beads is occasionally they could get clumped up. Something in the tire could be sticking to it, and basically they won't balance out properly or find the right spot. So these are supposed to fix that issue. They are pretty expensive. It's about 200 bucks per front and rear. So looking at 400 total-ish, roughly. And I only picked up the fronts right now. The rears are coming in later in the video. But we're gonna go ahead and test it out with what we got and see how it works. Pretty much the reason I'm doing this is I recently installed the dually wheels. As you can see here, these are 22.5 that were shaved down to 22s. Then I put on a 22 or a 33 12.5 22 tire. And I've been having an issue at various speeds with certain vibrations. So it's not all the time. So I don't think it's an out of round tire. That was my original assumption. I had one that did look pretty out of round replaced, and it did help a little bit, but it's still kind of there. So I'm thinking it's more of a balancing issue than a round tire issue. So the thing is, these are currently balanced at a shop. They're at NTB did one of them, and then another place did another. And the downside with wheel weights on tires these big, when you get to this like semi wheel of heaviness, it's like the wheels themselves are probably about 50 pounds each. Tires are about 25 pounds each. You're looking at 75 pounds right there. And then plus the adapter is probably almost 100 pounds per wheel. For the fronts, definitely the rears are a little bit less, just because it's only one adapter for two, but like all around, it's a lot of rotational mass to be balanced out by a couple of weights. So that's where these are supposed to come into play. And pretty much they are used all the time on semi trucks. So pretty much all they do is you fit the smallest hole, which is that one on here. And we're gonna go ahead, basically pop off the wheel, throw this on, go for a test drive in the fronts, see if it fixes the issue. If it's not fixing the issue, then it's probably a rears that's actually the problem, not the fronts. But I wanna try this out right now, and then we'll go ahead and pick up another set for the rear. Either way, I am gonna run these because one other huge benefit, in my opinion, getting tires like this mounted up is not cheap. They are very expensive, not even including balancing. So I think I'm gonna probably try and do this myself when it comes time to change these out. So doing that and not having to worry about balancing them, which is the hardest part in my opinion, I think it'll let me do that on my own. So let's go ahead and pop this wheel off. I already started, got them all loose and just got it jacked up. And we're gonna go ahead, pop the wheel off, throw that on, very simple. Do the same thing on the other side and then go for a test drive. Alrighty guys, so we are back, and it's been about 5 or 6 days for me anyway. Went and got the rears in finally, so they're right here. And we're gonna go and pull one out. And I did notice that these things, compared to the fronts, definitely bigger, definitely heavier. So hopefully that's a good thing. But we're gonna go ahead and pop on the rears, and while I do that on the truck, I'm also gonna adjust the rear e-brakes because their e-brake and rear brake are the same. I made a mistake a while back, way back a long time ago, but I ran with the e-brake on for like probably good 20-30 miles without realizing it. So yeah, wore them down. I gotta adjust it out a little bit now. Probably take them off, check them how they look. Other than that though, we gotta go ahead and take them off and pop on the balancers. So I did do a test drive with it, and I filmed some footage, and it did feel a little smoother. Although after driving over the week with them on, just on the fronts and not on the rears, because I didn't have them in yet, it's a toss-up if it's any better or not, to be honest. The front, it does feel like the front's not moving as much, which is good. Although if the rear is as bad as it feels right now, then it's not enough to really like compensate. So I'm gonna go and toss on the rears. We're gonna go for an actual test drive with all four on and see if it makes a real difference or not. So that's kind of what I'm after. I'm hoping it does. I really want this to be the last time I gotta mess with the setup, because to be honest, the 22s with the with the mud tires. They're starting to become more trouble than it's worth in my opinion, but I want to get these things on. It's about total about 450 bucks worth of balancing stuff. Now the benefit is you don't got to balance it all the time, but the downside is, like, not all the time, but like you don't got to rebalance it, or when you put new tires on, you never have to balance it again. Downside is it's expensive. So let's go ahead and get these knocked out real quick. I'm gonna do it off camera. I will probably show you a few things, and we'll keep going. All right, so just got done taking off the drum, putting the wheel spacer on and off, or adapter, and it was a little loose. I got to double check and see why it got loose on me, but pretty much with the e-brake on, it wasn't really locking up. So I adjusted it, got it nice and tight back here, and then obviously e-brake off, it'll move like it's supposed to. So something to be aware of, this is a Southern truck, came from Florida, pretty much rust-free for the most part, but you can see how these little spray paint dabs is because I just went in here and went ahead and used a little wire wheel right here to get some of the rust spots. And even being a freaking Southern truck, you gotta take care of your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people don't like spray paint because they're like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and do a full body restoration in 20 years. Well, unfortunately for you, all you're doing is hurting yourself. If you don't keep up on spots like this, like, I get it, it's not the prettiest, but if you don't keep up on rust spots, or like when they pop up, take care of them, i.e. wire wheel them, hit them with some kind of paint, they're just gonna get worse. You're gonna have giant rust holes in your bed, you're gonna have rust holes in your fenders, cab corners, everything. So this is pretty much a rust-free truck for the most part, and I'd like to keep it that way. So yeah, that's kind of just something to keep in mind. You saw a while back I did the exterior. Again, this is all spray painted, but I think it came out pretty well. So just trying to keep an eye on stuff, especially like down in here. Mine's solid. Obviously you can see there's no issues right there, but if you do get rust spots in there, grind it out. Right there, there's one that was starting, I ground out and painted over. So just keep up on that. So we're gonna go ahead and get the wheels on. I'm gonna put the first one on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get our balancer, put the second one on, do the same thing on the other side. We'll go ahead and go for a test drive. All right, so as you can see, this thing is a big old turd, but it is on, and thankfully, this is kind of interesting. I was curious if it's gonna work out. They actually made 3 of the holes big enough for my little true, whatever you call it, true alignment tool piece on here. Can't remember, the thing is like, I don't remember what it's called. But so that's kind of cool, so it can fit through the stud and everything, and these other ones are tighter to fit around each of the actual studs, and these will fit around the stud and the little spacer tool I put in there. So kind of cool, kind of neat little touch. But let's go ahead and get the other wheel on, and I have my extension on here, so you can see it does, they have lined up so you can at least fit a thing through there. So all in all, not a bad design. It looks a little goofy right now, but once we get the other wheel on, I don't think you'll be able to tell it's there. All right, so we got one on. This is what it looks like. Honestly, I mean, you really can't tell unless you're looking, but yeah, I think it's fine. In the middle, you can see it right there. So hopefully that'll do the trick. Let's go ahead and knock out the other side, do the same thing. Well, went ahead and got it put on. See it sticking right there and through there. So let's go ahead and take her out for a test drive, see how it feels. Alrighty, so we're going about 40 miles an hour right now, and it had been in the past pretty poor right now, but it actually feels really good. So 50, okay, so gotta say, actually, let's see, I'm not saying we're good yet, but it feels substantially better than it did. There's still a little bit of shake, button off. There's still a tiny bit of shake going on, but it could just be a tire deformity or something else. It actually feels pretty good. I'm going 55, just cruising. So, okay, there it is. So there is still some shimmy there, but it is substantially better than it was. So there's definitely still a little shimmy, a lot better than it was though. And again, it could be tire run out, doesn't necessarily mean a balancing issue, but the fact that there's this much of an improvement tells me that there was indeed some kind of balancing issue going on. Also, the brakes feel worlds better with the rears actually doing something. I don't think they were actually touching. I'm not sure how it like unadjusted itself, but it seems to have done so. And the brake pedal feels substantially firmer now that all 4 are able to do their job. So that was interesting, but pretty happy with that little adjustment as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop on the highway real quick, right up that way, and we'll take it up to about 70, see how she feels, and then we'll do a final little wrap up. All right, let's go on and get head. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna give this another bit. I still feel it, especially at 60. I don't know. So it's possible I did wear a little bit of a cup in one of the tires, or multiple, because they were running out of balance as bad as they were. It does feel quite a bit smoother. Let's go ahead and check out this next highway real quick. Should be a little less traffic. It doesn't feel terrible though. I do think it is an improvement. There we go. Now we still got something up. Still vibrating pretty decently. Yeah, you can see the chair right there. I don't know. So I don't know, guys. You seeing what I'm seeing? It's definitely frustrating. I do think, at least knowing that it's properly balanced, was a little bit better in my, you know, a little bit more. What was I thinking of? I do think it's a little bit better, but still feeling it is kind of frustrating. I really would like this tire setup to ride smoother than stock, or as smooth, not have these vibrations. But as you can see, I mean, that's really not great. So, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments down below if you guys think I should try. At this point, I don't know. I'm not really sure what else there is to try, so I guess we'll see. Might try running it out for a little bit. It's been on the truck for almost 500 miles now since I originally put them on. Not the balancers, but the wheels and tires. So like I said, it's possible I may have cupped one or something. That's where it'll wear that spot a little bit thinner due to it being out of balance. Now if they are balanced, it's still there. I don't know, but we'll see. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video with old girl here, and I'm not sure. I do think there is some improvement for sure. I don't think it's quite as bad as it was. So what I'm gonna do is, I just put them on today. I'm not gonna be driving it a bunch over the weekend. Next week, I'm gonna go ahead and do an update video basically. So there's a couple things we can try still. I didn't take any of the wheel weights off that were on there from whoever originally balanced it. I don't remember the shop's name or who exactly did it. In my head, if they're close to being balanced, it should only assist, I would think. But maybe they just did a really bad job and they have a crap ton of weights on there for no reason. So I'm gonna try taking off the wheel weights. They don't actually need wheel weights with these balancers. So I'm gonna try taking those off, see if that improves anything. I'm gonna try going for a couple hundred miles longer, see if that improves anything, just because it's possible driving with an imbalance that they got cupped or something. And that should be about it. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much what we're gonna do. And I don't know, if you have any suggestions down below as to what to try, by all means leave them down below. Otherwise, I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna hold on to this wheel and tire setup if I can't get it to ride smoothly, is kind of what I'm getting at. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.